Young South Africans are responding to the call to create businesses that can add value to the economy and create those much needed jobs. When one starts a business that distributes a product that needs to be cultivated over an extended period of time, they will face unique challenges to manage supply and demand. For instance, starting a vineyard means you will need to spend an ample amount of time crafting your goods in order to receive a positive response from your target market. So the wine industry is not spared when it comes to starting with planting a seed in the ground and ending up with grapes and a bottle of wine. Lata Ngoashe is one of those patient businessmen who have something to toast to. He joins us on Market Sense. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for having me, Brakola.
How did you get interested in the wine industry?
I think wine chose me. It was a hobby at first. I just started by collecting wines for myself, for my own consumption and collections at home. And then that got propelled to a passion business when my son got born. So it was basically a legacy project. I started it to honor him in a way.
Why is it essential for anybody to collect wine that would then propel him to being interested in how to preserve it in terms of perhaps increasing its value, or maybe to just boast about, look at how the kind of matured wine I have in my house?
It's a lifestyle, and you've got it very. It's an industry you always want to have what somebody else doesn't have, and you always find pleasure in making sure that you nurture something beyond its years, and sometimes to a level of maturity that makes it just more beautiful.
What did you need to start the business?
Firstly, it was the know-how, and that was handled by me having passion for wine. So before I even started the business, I was already interested in the wine industry. So I did research without even being aware that one day I'll use the same research to start a business. So most importantly is the know-how, because wine is a complicated but not so intimidating product. However, if you need to go into the business, you need to do your homework very well. I mean, it took me a good 6 years, if not more, before I even went commercial.
So when it comes to the value chain of the wine business, which section do you participate or own when it comes to the vineyard, the land, distribution, manufacturing, and also advertising and marketing?
I think we own 90% of the value chain, or rather 80%. Why I say that is because we don't own the vineyards. However, the rest of the value chain, from development, conceptualizing, marketing, strategizing on how to introduce the product into the market, distribution, at the moment we're handling it in-house. So the other 10% besides the owning of the land will be the mass distribution space, which we are working very hard at the moment.
Did you need money to do all this kind of business?
You do. You can imagine, I'm a boy from Limpopo. I moved to Gauteng. I ended up having to travel to the Western Cape to do my research, to meet wine estate. Even before you get to the product development, there's a lot of investment that goes into that. Yeah,
we know that the wine industry is white dominated. For you, were there any barriers of entry?
I think I was very lucky because in the process of me visiting this estate, I happened to meet an estate that bought into my vision. When I sold them my vision, I told them what I want to do and I want to achieve. They then decided, let's collaborate and do this together. So for a lot of people, and still myself, there's certain barriers. But I must say, the estate that I'm with is a well-started, world-class estate. And the way they bought into my vision just made everything a little bit easier to get into that space.
Can one, just on the face of it, assume that the wine industry is dominated and crowded by big players?
Yes.
And for you to get your product positioning, how do you do it when you are still a small player?
You're very right. I'm basically the first generation, to get into the space. I have to compete with generations that are fourth generation, if not more. So you can imagine the competition there, So you'd always have to work extra harder. However, the market is ready for new brands, and the market is ready to consume our own products. The market is ready to buy wine labels with Lata Ngoashe on them. So it's a good time to be around. And I'm excited that first generation, I can only see. Second generation is my son, who the LN actually stands for, the LN wines.
So then the issue of funding, many people who start businesses say that they're finding it difficult. With you, when it came to pitching to funders, what did you tell them?
Currently, everything, I'm doing it from my own funding. because the whole process, the most expensive part was the development. But like I said, I wasn't even aware that I was developing this product because it was a hobby. So funding is a big challenge. And yes, we would love to engage with funders out there who are open to new industries and not finding the norm that currently exists. I mean, wine is not only about the wine, it's agriculture. You know, like you said, we create so many jobs. Currently, South Africa is one of the most biggest exporters of wine. So you can only imagine the more we invest in it, what it's going to do for us as a country.
Okay. Well, all the best for your business, and thank you very much for making time to speak to us.
Thank you, Colin. I appreciate the time.
Okay. Well, Lata Ngoashe is one of those patient young people who got into the wine business. And of course, we wish him all the very best. We're going to take a break now.